We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 80.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and now our World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World, and we're missing our Cruiserweight Champion.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Rob.
And this is episode 126 of Beyond the Ropes. Of course, we are BTR, Pro Wrestling Talk. I am your host, Ethan Ortiz. You can follow me on Twitter at EthanMB95. And you can also follow our producer, Rob Flores, on Twitter at
Flores Media.
Yes, and of course we are missing our analyst, James Williams. Has some personal matters to attend, so we're wishing him well, wishing his family well. Of course, we are doing this show virtually, thanks to Zoom. We're keeping our distance from each other, keeping our distance from the studio, even though Rob is phasing in and out of the 22S Radio studio, as you can see if you're watching on YouTube. But if you're listening to us on 22smedia.com, that's great. We're happy to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, you can find the show on Twitter at RealBTR Radio, where we post some content there. Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes as well, where Rob uploads every single episode up on there. And of course, YouTube, just search up Beyond the Ropes or search up Rob Flores for all 125 episodes currently uploaded. Since we are going a little old school with just us two, Rob, we're going to break down some of the news here. WrestleMania announcement happened this past weekend, and it was huge. We got to find out what was the status going into this year's WrestleMania. Of course, I'm talking about WrestleMania 37. So last year, of course, the pandemic kind of hit right before WrestleMania 36 happened. Everything was shut down. WWE had to essentially move away from Tampa, where they had originally planned that WrestleMania to happen. They moved it to the Performance Center, and it ended up being a two-night spectacle. No fans in attendance, only viewable via pay-per-view and via the WWE Network. And they put on the best show that they could. Of course, since then, WWE has moved into the Allstate Arena, I believe, or no, Amway Center, I'm sorry, and then Tropicana Field now for the Thunderdome, as they call it. And it looks like this year's WrestleMania might change things up a little bit. We might have some hope to getting at least 20 to 30% attendance. That's right, live fans in attendance for WrestleMania. However, it is not happening in its original location. Sorry, Rob, we're not getting WrestleMania in LA this year. I know you were heartbroken by the announcement, but you know what? Look, they're only allowing 20 to 30% fans in attendance. California is nowhere near the place you want to be gathering crowds right now. Florida is going to get their WrestleMania. That's right. They're going back to Tampa Bay. Raymond James Stadium is happening this year, and they are doing another two-night event. So I'm going to read this this announcement here by WWE. They did a nice little video package. I don't know if you saw the WrestleMania report, but if you have not, you should go watch that. Kind of mocking, kind of the, not mocking, but kind of doing a parody version of like an anchor. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon were the anchors, and then they kind of sent it off to a few reporters on the scene and all that stuff. So it was kind of interesting how they made the WrestleMania announcement. But all right, so this is the official press release here from WWE's website. Florida is excited to welcome back WrestleMania to Tampa in April at Raymond James Stadium. Florida has continued to work with professional sports and entertainment to safely operate while generating revenue and protecting jobs. WrestleMania will bring tens of millions of dollars to the Tampa Bay area, and we look forward to hosting more sporting and entertainment events in Florida this year, said Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The opportunity for Tampa Bay to host WrestleMania in April in true WWE fashion, the perfect comeback story, and marks a clear indication that our beautiful city is poised to bounce back stronger than ever. We can't wait to once again showcase all that Team Tampa Bay has to offer, added Tampa Bay Mayor or Tampa Mayor Jane Castor. And then we got a few more announcements here. It was confirmed that WrestleMania, Tampa Bay, this year's WrestleMania will be presented by Snickers and hosted April 10th, Saturday, April 10th, and Sunday, April 11th. So that will be happening on those dates. It was also announced that next year's WrestleMania will be happening in Dallas, Texas, WrestleMania 38, Sunday, April 3rd at AT&T Stadium. And of course, finally, we get our WrestleMania, Rob. Los Angeles, WrestleMania 39, Sunday, April 2nd at SoFi Stadium at Hollywood Park. So there we go. We get it in 2 years, Rob. I know we gotta wait. But you know what? We gotta clear everything. We gotta make sure we get back on track before we can get a live crowd. So let me just read some of these more statements from the mayors. We are elated for WrestleMania's return to Arlington's AT&T Stadium and look forward to building upon the success from 2016 when more than 101,000 fans were in attendance for WrestleMania 32, said Arlington Mayor Jeff Williams. Of course, they hosted WrestleMania 32, which was the largest attendance. I don't know if those numbers were accurate, but that's what they said, so we're going to go with it. And of course, our mayor, the mayor of Inglewood, the city of Inglewood, looks forward to the opportunity to host WrestleMania in 2023 and celebrates the deferral of this year's event to Tampa Bay so they can have their rightful WrestleMania moment. Our time will come. There we go, Rob. Our time will come. Let's see, finally, this comes from the boss here. On behalf of everyone at WWE, we thank Governor DeSantis, Mayor Castor, Mayor Williams, and Mayor Butts. He's Inglewood. That's it. Mayor of Inglewood, Rob. That's not funny. How dare you make fun of the guy's name like that? Why would you do that? Very unprofessional of you.
He said, "But the."
What? All right. So for the graciousness and flexibility in what was a collaborative effort to bring the next 3 WrestleManias to these iconic stadiums and their world-class cities, said Vince McMahon, WWE Chairman and CEO. In coordination with local partners and government officials, WWE will announce ticket availability and safety protocols for WrestleMania 37 in the coming weeks. Information on additional WrestleMania week events is forthcoming. So, as I mentioned, there's probably going to be around 20 to 30% capacity for this year's WrestleMania. I know the Super Bowl is being held at the same venue in Tampa Bay. And so it'll be interesting to see how they handle everything, because I know they're going to have some fans in attendance as well. I know they've been having fans at their football games over the last several months now. So we'll see how WWE works around that. They're keeping with the pirate theme. I don't know if you saw the logo, but there's a pirate theme, which makes sense because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play there. So
I thought because Paul Burchill's coming back.
Paul Burchill is not coming back. That is not going to happen. But yes, they are keeping with the pirate theme, and I'm excited. We're finally going to have fans, at least in some capacity. I mean, NXT has had a small group of people come in every week for the last couple of months since they've been at the Capitol Wrestling Center. But it's not the same, as having 20,000 people or something. So looking forward to that. Any thoughts on these announcements, Rob?
Oh my gosh.
You're just disappointed you have to wait longer for WrestleMania, aren't you?
Silly COVID.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we're able to eradicate this pandemic sooner rather than later. So yeah, that's WrestleMania. That was a big announcement there, and I look forward to to going to WrestleMania. It's going to take a little longer. We're going to get there. We're going to get there eventually. All right. All right. So moving on to the other big news story that came out about a week or so ago. WWE and India. That's right. There's a big announcement there. WWE and Sony Pictures Network and India, announced WWE Superstar Spectacle. That's right. Did you hear about this? No. All right. Well, don't worry. I've got WWE's press release about this too. We're very professional this week. I actually uploaded all the announcements here. So I'm going to read this announcement and then we can have a little discussion perhaps. WWE Superstar Spectacle, an unprecedented 2-hour television special event for India featuring WWE's Indian performers alongside superstars from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT will premiere on the award-winning WWE Network at 9 a.m. Eastern, as well as on Sony 10.1, Sony 10.3, and Sony Max on India's Republic Day, Tuesday, January 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern, or IST, with commentary available in both English and Hindi. The unique showcase of Indian-inspired action will emanate from the state-of-the-art WWE Thunderdome and incorporate stunning elements of traditional and contemporary Indian culture among epic matches featuring WWE Champion Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Charlotte Flair, AJ Styles, Bayley, The New Day, Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, SmackDown Tag Team Champions Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, Natalya, Ricochet, and many more, plus an appearance by WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair. We love the passion and support from the huge WWE universe in India, so we've teamed up with SPN, the exclusive home of WWE in India, to surprise our fans with an incredible kickoff 2020, said Paul Triple H Levesque, WWE Executive Vice President of Global Talent, Strategy, and Development. WWE Superstar Spectacle will be an epic event with electrifying matches featuring some of the biggest names in WWE along our incredible Indian performers, plus thrilling and authentic Indian-inspired entertainment. WWE has consistently featured among the top watched sports properties in India over the years. So yeah, they basically go through this. Here are some Indian wrestlers that are going to appear on the show. I know your favorite wrestler, the first WWE champion of Indian descent, Jinder Mahal, is expected to make an appearance. I know you're happy about that.
3MB.
I don't think we're going to see a 3MB reunion, Rob, but there we go. The Bollywood Boys, Samir and Sunil Singh, will make an appearance. The first all-Indian tag team in WWE in this year, featuring Rinko and Saurav, I believe. They've been briefly featured on NXT. NXT superstar Jeet Rama, Kavita Devi, which was the first Indian woman signed to a WWE contract, and the Great Khali trainees, not the Great Khali, but the trainees of the Great Khali, Giant Zanjeer, who is 7'2", and Dilshir Shanky, who is 7 foot, which is incredible, and Guru Raj, the first Indian-born high flyer in WWE. So we're going to get this huge superstar event, primarily superstar spectacle, primarily for the Indian viewers, but we're gonna get more. So Rob is asking if Sanjay Dutt is still here. I can't say. I believe he's still working as a WWE producer. I think he's made some cameos in the past few months, so he is still there. I don't think he'll be wrestling, but who knows? He could make an appearance at some point. But yeah, so that's two big announcements over the last week. Of course, that ending the Superstar Spectacle, as I mentioned, will be premiering on the WWE Network on January 26th. So that should be fun to check out. Maybe we'll do a little breakdown there. So, Rob, we're going to head to a little commercial break in just a minute or two here. But can say the Royal Rumble is going to happen this weekend. Did you know that? The Royal Rumble is happening at the end of the month this weekend as this airs here. So we have to give our predictions on a winner. I don't think we're going to give complete predictions in terms of like who we think is going to start the match and Final Four and all that. I think we'll save that for social media. I'll get you and James's thoughts on that, and then I'll post them on social media there before the show. But we at least have to predict potential winner or two for each the men's and the women's Royal Rumble match. So we're going to do that. We're going to talk a little bit maybe about SmackDown, maybe a little bit about Raw, what's been going on in the news lately. But yeah, we're going to do all that. A little more here. Once again, you can follow me on Twitter at EthanMV95. You can follow the show on Twitter at RealBTR Radio. You can follow Rob on Twitter at
Rob Flores Media, and we know you still have more than one account for some reason.
Look, I am a very complicated person. I'm a complex individual. Okay, Rob. I know you're trying to just get me mad. You're trying to get me frustrated here by nobody needs to know my Instagram. It's locked. I mean, they can find it, but I'm not gonna accept their follow. That's fine. Doesn't matter. They don't need to follow me. They can follow me at Facebook, facebook.com/EthanEnvy. They can do that. But, don't nod your head, Rob. Don't, no.
Ethan test handles.
James isn't here to back you up this time to instigate here,
Our cruiserweight champion accidentally tripped off the third rope, but he'll be back.
He's hurt. He's hurt this week. He's on the injured reserve list this week, as they say in sports. So, but we will get him back, and hopefully sooner rather than later. And yeah, we're gonna take what? We got another minute, Rob. I'm trying to kill time here. You're killing with this time thing. How was your weekend? How's your week been? Because obviously we're in lockdown still, so.
Bad, sad COVID times. Like, so COVID's got to go bye-bye.
I agree. I will mention it was your favorite wrestler's birthday this past week. Did you tweet him happy birthday? I don't think I saw that.
I saw that. I think he did some kind of joke saying I was already birthed, but thank you anyways for telling me happy birthday.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so it was our true's birthday. But anyways, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we're going to talk about everything going on in the WWE. All that and more right here on Beyond the Ropes. We are 22West Radio. 22West Radio is 22westmedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. And we're back with episode 126 of Beyond the Ropes. Of course, I'm your host, Ethan, joined alongside the producer, Rob Flores. You can follow me on Twitter at EthanMV95. You can follow Rob at...
I'm invisible. You can follow me at Rob Flores Media.
If you have been watching the YouTube videos, by the way, you can find Beyond the Ropes on YouTube. Just search up Beyond the Ropes or search up Rob Flores. You will see that Rob is indeed invisible.
Superpower, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. It's you're phasing into the studio, Rob.
No, I found a serum and I like turned. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 100%. You have superpowers now. Just like I'm phasing through this WWE ring here going on. Something we didn't talk about last episode because it was kind of a pre-recorded episode at the time. Every episode these days is pre-recorded, but it was pre-recorded. Um, Drew McIntyre unfortunately did catch test positive for COVID-19. Um, so last week he did send in a video. He seemed to be in great spirits. Seems to be fine. He did send in another one this past Monday saying he's going to be back next week. So things are looking good for him. Glad to hear that he's doing all right. So I think as this airs, he should be back. So glad to hear that. Let's talk about SmackDown, Rob. Let's talk about the return of the King of Strong Style. Did you hear about this? You haven't heard? Rob, you need to get on social media more. You need to keep up to date. You
I've
know,
been invisible in the studio.
huh?
I've been invisible in the studio.
No, you need to get out of the studio. That's what you need to do. That's right. Shinsuke Nakamura um, was in a gauntlet match to try to be the number one contender for the Universal Championship. However, it didn't work out so well. But we essentially got a face turn from Shinsuke Nakamura, and we got his old theme song back. I know James was very excited because he tweeted about it. I told him on Twitter that we should be doing an entire episode just talking about Shinsuke's theme song, and he was up for it. So, we're gonna have to save all that big news for when he returns. But anyways, it's nice to see Shinsuke
I
kind
think
of.
Scott Steiner might show up at your place.
What happened?
I heard sirens. I thought Scott Steiner was going to show up there.
There's an ambulance passing by here. There is one.
You're in the ring. Sorry, Ethan.
What? The fire truck is passing by, ladies and gentlemen.
I said you're in the ring and Scott Steiner showing up. I'm sorry, man.
It's all right. I'm fine. I'll survive. All
I don't
right.
think Steiner recliners are comfy.
The Steiner, I'm gonna get a recliner, and I'm gonna definitely be comfy as much as possible here. Let's talk about perhaps the most important person in wrestling today, Rob.
R-Truth?
I knew you were gonna say that. I let you say that. I let you get it out of the way. No, I'm talking about the tribal chief and the universal champion, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. Let's talk about how he basically puts food on the table for every member of the WWE roster. You're stunned, Rob. You're just in shock. I know.
At the very least, the storyline's got to give one of the Usos the secondary title.
Well, Jey Uso had a nice match with Shinsuke Nakamura, and unfortunately he lost. But he's been doing very well as a singles wrestler. Jimmy is nowhere to be found. I don't know where he's at. I know he was injured at one point, but I would like to think he's been cleared for a while. I don't know what's going on with him. So hopefully we'll see him soon. Jey Uso did announces himself for the Rumble, so that's fun. He could be perhaps one of the final four. We'll see. I'm not sure if Shinsuke has announced himself yet, but we should go through maybe the lists because we are going to give our predictions of who.
TNA original.
Who did I say? AJ Styles?
Something about Shinsuke.
Shinsuke. I said Shinsuke. I think Cesaro announced himself for the Royal Rumble as well. So we got some names. We got some names building up there. I mentioned Roman Reigns, and I was going to talk about Roman Reigns specifically because he is defending the Universal Championship in a last man standing match against Kevin Owens. That is happening at the Rumble. Should be interesting. This feud's been going on for the last 2 months or so. It's been one of the, I guess, best feuds of SmackDown for a while. So that's been really good. But yeah, so that should be interesting to see for sure where that goes on. Let's see. Let's
Does
talk
that mean
about
with the change of the theme song, he's no longer associated with Cesaro?
No, Cesaro actually supported him in his match. He was on commentary. So they're still, for now at least, kind of a team. Although Cesaro's kind of still a heel. So I don't know if that's going to lead to anything. Maybe a feud between them, or maybe they're just kind of tweeners in a sense. But it's a wait and see. The wait and see. We'll have to hold off on that for sure. Something that was interesting was Apollo Crews was actually taking some guidance from Roman Reigns. He was actually in the locker room and taking advice from the tribal chief. Apollo earned himself a championship match against Big E for the Intercontinental Championship. As this airs, we will have found out who would have won the title. So, don't know. I mean, Apollo could already be champion as this gets released, or Big E could have retained. So,
I think it
nonetheless,
still would have been cool, though, for Apollo to have been aligned with MVP.
you think he should have joined the Hurt Business? I think there's a little dissension in the Hurt Business right now. I think Cedric's got a big ego a little bit, and I think this past Monday on Raw kind of cost him a little. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from there, for sure. But yeah, so let's talk about. So have you heard Ric Flair has a new is serving as a valet for a new superstar? Not a new superstar, but someone else other than Charlotte Flair.
Oh, who is that?
Lacey Evans.
What?
That's right, Rob. She's riding Space Mountain. She has officially aligned herself with Ric Flair. He's turned heel on his own daughter, costing her a match, like 2 or 3 matches already. Lacey Evans this past Monday was seen wearing a Flair robe to distract Charlotte. Didn't work. Charlotte got the victory over Peyton Royce, but still that happened. So this little feud between Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair is happening, and Ric Flair has kind of aligned himself with the sassy Southern Belle, which is interesting. You seem disappointed, Rob.
I think it would have been cooler if Flair aligned himself with Sasha.
Sasha's a face. Sasha's a face, Robin.
Know, but if there was ever a heel turn like that, like
she doesn't need someone though. Lacey, I can see why, perhaps, maybe. I don't know. Sasha's good on her own, I think. Like I feel like she doesn't need. She's currently the SmackDown Women's Champion, and it looks like her and Carmella are gonna head for another rematch. So that should be interesting. So we'll see where that goes from there. So yeah, that should be. They had a stellar match at TLC. Probably Carmella's best match. But yeah, so we'll see where that goes from there. How much time do we have, Mr. Timekeeper? So I don't ramble on too long.
7 minutes, 40 seconds.
7 minutes still until we go to commercial break. Rob, do you have anything else to discuss? Because I'm short on stories.
Well, obviously everybody's guessing what's going to happen with the Hall of Fame ceremony.
That's right, the Hall of Fame. Thank you for bringing that up. No, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony obviously was canceled last year, but I believe the class of 2020, which may be considered 2021 now, will likely probably be inducted with no fans this year. I don't know if it's going to take place at the Raymond James Stadium It could happen that same Thursday. I don't know what they're gonna do with WrestleMania. If they're gonna have, I doubt they're gonna have WrestleMania access this year because of everything going on, unless it's like very trimmed down. Obviously, everyone probably having to wear masks and all that. Um, but yeah, so we'll see where that goes. Obviously, this year's inductees, Batista, uh, the NWO. Who else was supposed to be inducted? Wasn't the British Bulldog, right? I
Yeah.
believe it was. So,
I wonder if his son will be available to go there.
oh, I'm sure he will. David Hart Smith, or I don't know what he's going by now. It's something. It's David or Davey. He's still going by. I think he's still in MLW. I think I could be wrong. I know he was in New Japan for a while with Lance Archer as a team. But yeah, so I'm sure that'll be happen probably the week of WrestleMania, maybe in front of nobody, unless they do it like at WrestleMania. Although that could take forever though. So I don't know with the speeches and everything. So, did you see Randy Orton got shot in the face with fire? That's right. Alexa Bliss has superpowers now. She threw a fireball into Randy Orton's face 2 weeks ago. And last week, we got to see Randy Orton wearing a mask, an interesting mask, basically saying he's even more dangerous now. And that the competitors inside the Royal Rumble match are now going to be suffering a lot more. So,
She's got fire, huh?
Yeah, she's got fire.
That got invisibility.
Look, you have some phasing in and out issues on Zoom. That's not invisibility.
Superpower.
No. But speaking of Alexa Bliss, she defeated the Raw Women's Champion Asuka this last Monday on Raw. So is she perhaps going to end up getting the championship opportunity very soon? Possibly. Would not be surprised. She was a favorite to win the Royal Rumble match, but we'll see. Yeah, it's kind of it's a process, so we'll see. How much time do we got, Rob?
My fingers are invisible.
I can't see. 4 minutes?
Yes.
4 minutes. Xavier Woods is so there was some news that Kofi, I guess, has an injured jaw. I don't know if he broke his jaw or he fractured it or something. But Retribution is seemingly going after the lone New Day member on Monday Night Raw, Xavier Woods. T-Bar defeated Woods 2 weeks ago. Last week, it was Mace who defeated Xavier Woods. And it seems like Mustafa Ali is going after the New Day, particularly because he felt Kofi stole his WrestleMania moment 2 years ago. If you remember correctly, it was Ali who was kind of rumored to be in contention for the WWE Championship at one point. However, Ali ended up getting hurt, and Kofi replaced him in the Elimination Chamber match that occurred, which ultimately kind of sparked the fuse, sparked the flame that will lead to Kofi Mania. So now we've kind of seen this Retribution kind of New Day angle kind of start. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun to see. Like I said, 2 members of Retribution have now defeated Xavier Woods. So hopefully we'll get to see something unfold maybe at the Rumble. I don't know if Kofi's going to be back in time. He did release a promo on Twitter, so check that out if you haven't. It was great. He basically called out Ali. And yeah, look forward to Kofi coming back very soon. hopefully speedy recovery, and we'll see where that goes from there. But looking forward to this New Day kind of Retribution angle. It's an angle that makes sense. It makes Retribution look good because they're going against a team that has legitimacy behind them. 10-time WWE Tag Team Champions, the longest reigning Tag Team Champions in history. And yeah, so that should be a lot of fun for sure. All right, so as we get to our second commercial break here, once again, you can follow me on Twitter at EthanMB95. You can follow Rob at
Rob Flores Media, and he's still Ethan Tres names.
I am still Ethan. I mean, I guess I don't know how many names I have. Like, I have different names, right? But yeah, so you can follow James. I'll give him the plug. JHW Reporter. Send him well wishes. He's taking care of some family business right now, but send him well wishes on Twitter at JHW Reporter. He's pretty active there when he's covering sports and everything. So, and when we return, we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble match. That's right, Rob. We're going to break down who we think is going to win the men's Royal Rumble match and the women's Royal Rumble match. All that right here on episode 126 of Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. And we're back with episode 126 of Beyond the Ropes. I'm your host, Ethan. You can follow me on Twitter at EthanMB95. You can follow James on Twitter at JHW Reporter. And you can follow Rob at
Rob Flores Media, and I'm still invisible.
You're still invisible. You're phasing through. You don't have superpowers. It's just the way Zoom has.
Superpower.
No, not a thing. Let's talk about Impact Wrestling, something we don't do very often. Impact and AEW's partnership specifically. So AEW and Impact have had this relationship for the last month or so. And this past week, Matt Hardy and Private Party showed up on the Impact Zone. And kind of they defeated the team of Chris Sabin and the returning James Storm. Of course, Alex Shelley has been unable to appear the last week, so James Storm made an appearance. Private Party did defeat those two legendary TNA originals, and looks like they're getting now a title opportunity against Gallows and Anderson, the Good Brothers, at No Surrender, which is going to be Impact's next special event on their streaming service, Impact Plus. So that's very interesting. So that's kind of our little update there for the AEW/Impact Wrestling partnership there. We did also find out that Kenny Omega did pin Rich Swann, the Impact Wrestling champion. So perhaps a championship match between Kenny Omega and Rich Swann at Rebellion, which is like the next major pay-per-view for Impact, perhaps. That's a possibility there. But of course, this upcoming weekend, we do have the historic Royal Rumble event. It's happening. Over 30 years of history, over 30 winners have happened, and so it should be interesting. Rob, you and I are going to give our predictions on who we think is going to win. And quickly, before we move on from AEW, Rob was asking about a video game announcement. Yeah, they've been working on a video game for a while. I don't know if there's been any like major announcement, but they've been working on it. I know that.
I thought there was like a graphic image of like a digital Kenny.
There was a Jericho.
Oh.
I know there was a Jericho, but in terms of like major announcements, I haven't heard anything. I just know that they've been working on it. They did announce like Series 4 or Series 5 of their toy line, their action figure line. So, I mean, you can find them. I haven't seen any in stores. So if you're able to find any AEW figures in stores, good luck. But yeah, so that's kind of our AEW news. No numbers this week. I don't think they're up yet. But we do have stats. I'm covering for James here, our analyst, who would normally give us our stats here. But it's all right. I'm the one I googled. I googled this time, so I was able to pick up our stats here. We're talking about the Royal Rumble match. Let's do some Royal Rumble stats. All right. I'm gonna do a little quiz. I'm gonna quiz you, Rob. All right. I'm gonna do a little quiz here. Who has the most Royal Rumble wins?
Is it R-Truth?
No. Come on. Give me a real answer, Rob.
Is it Stone Cold?
It is. He has 3 Royal Rumble victories. Good job. He won at 1997, 1998, and the 2001 Royal Rumble match. So there you go. Do you want to know who has 2? There's actually quite a few that have 2. There's
The Rock.
6 individuals that had 2 victories. And no, The Rock is not one of them, actually.
Wow.
Randy Orton has 2 victories. He won in 2009 and 2017. Triple H has 2 victories in 2002 and 2016. Shawn Michaels has 2 victories. Actually, I believe he was technically the first person to win 2 Royal Rumbles. Actually, I lied. He's the second person. So Shawn Michaels won in 1995 and 1996, 2 in a row. The first person to win 2 Royal Rumbles in a row was Hulk Hogan, 1990 and 1991. Batista won in 2005 and 2014. And of course, your favorite wrestler, John Cena, won in 2008 and 2013. So there you go. There's some stats on the people, or the superstars with the most Royal Rumble victories. Do you want to know who has the most eliminations in total? Not in the single Rumble match, but in total.
Is it Kane?
Kane, it does have the most at 42 eliminations total. Do you want to guess number 2?
Undertaker?
Close. It's Shawn Michaels at 40. Undertaker has 38. Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin has 36. Big Show has 32. So there's your top 5 there for most eliminations. In terms of the women, I don't believe this is right because this is from last year. So I will say the new number 1 is Bianca Belair at 8 eliminations, I believe. Nia Jax was leading with 7 eliminations. And then we had a 3-way tie between Michelle McCool, Ruby Riott, and Natalya with 5 eliminations. So that's happening. Most eliminations in a single Rumble match. You want to guess this, Rob?
Brock Lesnar?
Brock Lesnar, I believe, is now the most. I think he has 12 or 13, thanks to last year's. This stat came out, I think, before last year's. It came out last year, but it came out like maybe the week before. So it does not include Brock Lesnar. But yes, Brock, I believe, has 13. Roman Reigns has 12. And Kane has 11. And I believe Braun Strowman in the Greatest Royal Rumble also eliminated 13. So he's kind of tied with Brock. But Brock has the most eliminations in a standard 30-man Rumble. For the women, Michelle McCool has 5. Charlotte Flair has 4. And Nia Jax has 4. Again, I think Bianca Belair is now number 1 for the women because she has 8 in a single Rumble. So, all right, you want to know some stats about who has had some bad luck in the Rumble?
I think it was Chavo or Santino.
Actually, no. I think that's another stat on quickest eliminations, but there's specific. So this is from Talksport.com. I should give them credit. Talksport.com, and they talk about the Royal Rumble stats here. But Roman Reigns has been the final man to be eliminated in, I guess now, at least 3 Royal Rumble matches. So he was the final two, but did not win. Randy Orton eliminated him in 2017. Nakamura eliminated him in 2018. And Drew McIntyre eliminated him at last year's Rumble in 2020. So that's interesting there. The Royal Rumble winners who entered at number 1, He Who Shall Not Be Named, Chris Benoit, and Shawn Michaels in 1995. So there you go. The number 27 spot has produced more winners than any other slot, with a total of 4 winners. John Studd in 1989, Yokozuna in 1993, Bret the Hitman Hart in 1984. I know James would like that very much. I'm sure he would have told you that. And of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2001. So now we're talking about full-time wrestlers with the most Royal Rumble appearances. Dolph Ziggler has, I believe, 13 now appearances. Kofi Kingston also has 13 appearances. And The Miz has 12 appearances thanks to last year's Royal Rumble match. So some interesting stats there for most appearances and all. Full-time wrestlers, I should say, with most appearances. Most Royal Rumble appearances in general. Kane has 19 Royal Rumble appearances. Goldust with 13. Big Show with 12. Kofi Kingston is also included in this list with 12. And The Undertaker with 11 appearances in a Royal Rumble match. The most number 30 entries. The Undertaker has entered number 30 on 3 separate occasions. I believe he only won one of them. I'm not sure if he entered 30 in that time, but I know he did won one in 2007, I believe. Dolph Ziggler entered number 30 twice, and Big Show also entered number 30 twice. So now we're going into the most time spent in the Royal Rumble match. For the men's side, Daniel Bryan did spend over an hour in the Greatest Royal Rumble. This was not included on the traditional Royal Rumble list. So Rey Mysterio holds the record in a standard Rumble, 30-man Rumble match with 62 minutes and 12 seconds in 2006. Bob Backlund at 61 minutes and 15 seconds in 1993. Chris Benoit at 61 minutes and 1 second in 2004. And Chris Jericho at 60 minutes and 13 seconds in 2017. Now we head on over to the women. Natalya with 56 minutes and 1 second in 2019. Ember Moon with 52 minutes and 23 seconds in 2019. Sasha Banks with 54 minutes and 46 seconds in 2018, and Becky Lynch with 30 minutes and 54 seconds in 2018. Those numbers probably are changed now because of last year's Rumble, which was not included, the 2020 Rumble, of course. So I'm sure Bianca Belair is probably much higher on this list, or on this list in general. So as Rob mentioned earlier, the least time spent in a Royal Rumble match, Santino Marella with 1 second in 2009. The Warlord with 2 seconds in 1989, the first Rumble, or second Rumble, I believe. And Owen Hart with 3 seconds in the year 1995. For the women's side, Liv Morgan had only 8 seconds in 2019. Vicky Guerrero with 58 seconds in 2018, and Tamina Snuka with 1 minute and 34 seconds in 2018. And now we get to most Royal Rumble returns. Rey Mysterio has appeared on the Royal Rumble multiple times, and he made his comeback then. Edge last year made history by making his surprise return for the second time, actually. He did not win last year, but he did make an appearance there. And Rob Van Dam have also made a return at the previous Rumble. So there you go. Some interesting stats there. We got what? 5 minutes, Rob? Was that you? We got 5 minutes. You're no longer in the studio. The studio has faded into you. You're no longer invisible, or you broke Zoom. Good job. There we go. No, when you're
No! What happened? What happened? No, what happened?
that's it.
No! Superpowers, see? Superpowers. Invisible.
We know your secret. We know.
Superpower. It's just glitching. I'm like Stitch. I had a glitch.
No, you have more than a glitch. You're not in the 22S radio studio, which is a good thing. You shouldn't be out there right now. But yes, you are a fraud. I want you to know this. I'm going to tell James this.
But superpowers.
You don't have superpowers. So as everyone listened I did give all the stats. You probably missed out because you had a very important phone call, I believe, to answer. But I gave all the stats there. Rob, if you want to listen to all the stats, you're going to have to listen back to the show, right? Mondays at 6 p.m. on 22smedia.com or 88.1 FM KHAZ HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles. See? You see how I have that off the top of my head? A true professional.
What is our cruiserweight champion, no?
I'm sorry?
Our cruiserweight champion knows it, got it down, right?
No, he does not. He says random numbers, random letters to get me confused every time before we go on the air. And it's incredibly frustrating, but I'm a professional here. Let's talk about Royal Rumble predictions. Rob, we're going to give an extensive list of Royal Rumble predictions on social media. So I'll get that from you and James within the next couple of days. But we're going to give our predictions on some winners here for the Royal Rumble, the men's Royal Rumble match, and the women's Royal Rumble match. Let's start with the women's side. Who do you think is a favorite to win this year's women's Royal Rumble match?
Bianca Belair.
Bianca has been kind of in a feud with Bayley over the last month or so. It's been great for both superstars. And I think Bianca Belair, last year, as I mentioned in the stats portion, which I just covered, she had 8 eliminations in last year's Rumble. She had a stellar performance. She was there for probably 30 minutes at least, if not longer. So yeah, Bianca Belair is a favorite to win that match. With that being said, I don't think it's going to be Bianca Belair. I've got my money on Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley, she's done with NXT. She's got to come up some point. She's going to make that appearance at the Royal Rumble. She's going to get that victory. She's going to get her win back from Charlotte. I think Charlotte might end up being Raw Women's Champion by the time Mania rolls around. And I think Rhea Ripley's going to get her payback from last year's WrestleMania. And she's going to get her Royal Rumble moment. I've got Rhea Ripley. All right, for the men's Royal Rumble match, who do you have?
It's a tough one for me. It's between 2 people.
R-Truth has not been announced, so we don't know if he's in the Rumble. So you can't say R-Truth. I mean, you could, but...
Oh, man. So I'm thinking Robert Roode or Biggie.
So Biggie is probably your favorite. He's the current Intercontinental Champion as we are recording this. As I mentioned, he is defending that title on SmackDown. I don't know if a title will have changed hands by the time this airs, but it's a possibility. He is a favorite. People like him. He is in line for that quote-unquote big push that people say. So Biggie is a favorite. Robert Roode just became the SmackDown Tag Team Champion with Dolph Ziggler. Don't see it happening. He's stuck in tag team land, Rob. With that being said, who is going to run the 2020 Royal Rumble? I've got to go with the phenomenal one, AJ Styles here. He's been pushing his debut when he made his debut at the Rumble 5 years ago now. They made a special out of that. He's kind of been the gatekeeper on the Raw side, at least, of who's entering the Rumble. Both Drew Gulak and Ricochet have lost to AJ Styles. That was kind of their qualifying matches to enter the Royal Rumble, and he's defeated both of them. So he served as gatekeeper for the Rumble. I think AJ Styles is winning this Royal Rumble. So, all right. So once again, you can follow me on Twitter. There you go. Yeah, the hand motion there. You can follow me on Twitter at EthanNV95. You can follow the show at RealBTR Radio. You can follow Rob at
Rob Flores Media, still invisible.
And you can follow James at JHW Reporter. Until next time, this has been episode 126 of Beyond the Ring. It has been absolutely too sweet.